Hello, dear thinkers, scholars, researchers, and listeners. Welcome to today's session. My name is Dr. Ismail Abbasi, and I'm working as assistant professor in the college sector of Higher Education Department, Government of Punjab. Today, in this session, I would talk about a framework that is related to kind of marriages from history. I have extracted this framework from a book which is written by Friedrich Engels. The title of the book is The Origin of the Family, Private Property, and the State. This is an interesting account, and the book documents the history as well as the future of Marxist feminism. The framework or the variables that I have selected related to marriages are four in number. The first type or the ancient type of marriage or the family system is consanguine family. Second one is Punaluan family. Third one is the pairing family. Fourth one is monogamous family. The first type of marriage, known as consanguine family. According to Friedrich Engels, the first consanguine family is the stage where all individuals had liberty to marry the persons of their likings. The restriction of marriage at this stage applies to people of different generation, such as father, daughter, mother, son. Other than these individuals which belong to different generation and were related to each other, such as father, daughter, mother, son, the individuals were allowed to marry any person of their liking, irrespective of the relationship of that particular individual with the other individual. There was complete liberty. There was no restriction in consanguine family system. People could marry, intermarry within their own tribes, outside the tribes, within their family members, irrespective of the age or irrespective of any other type of social status. So people had complete freedom. The only restriction was marriage related to the relations belonging to different generations. Second type of marriage is Punaluan family. This marriage developed the stage of matrimony and is called as Punaluan family. Here, the marriage is allowed to anyone except the people of different generations and siblings. This paved the way for mother and father gents, which we would talk in this session as well. So, the second type of marriage imposed some other restrictions, such as marriage to the people of different generations, such as marriage with uncles, marriage with aunts, marriage with other relatives, and it also banned marriages related to the individuals or related to the people of the family members, such as siblings, brothers, and sisters. Third type of marriage is known as the pairing marriage. The third stage of marriage is the pairing marriage, where matrimonial relation is allowed between only one man and a woman, men imposed restrictions upon women in terms of monogamy and loyalty with the purpose to ensure legitimacy of the children, where they themselves practiced polygamy openly. So, in this third type of marriage, the restriction was imposed, and one man was associated with another woman. They were not allowed to have marital relationship other than these spousal relatives. Other than this pair, they could not go out and perform marriage. Whereas in the previous two systems, here you can see in consanguine, it was liberty of that particular man or woman to marriage and to establish intercourses or to go and live in the groups, and where you see that the children or offsprings were the property of the groups, and in that particular group, in that particular tribe, to whomever they wanted to consummate, they wanted to have this kind of intimate relationship or exotic relationship, they could go and produce children. Whereas in the third marriage, the restriction was imposed, so that the purpose of this particular restriction was to introduce loyalty, so that the legitimacy of the children could be ensured. The children are legitimate. In previous two marriages, there in Punaluan as well as Consanguine, the child were the property of the commune system or socialist system, whereas in this third type of the marriage, where the family developed into a singular unit, the child became the property or the ownership of the father and the mother. The father demanded the loyalty from the mother or from his wife, so that he could ensure the legitimacy of the children or authenticity of the children, and the man could protect his blood or bloodline, to be more specific. Another interesting point is that monogamy was only demanded from women, whereas men themselves didn't apply monogamy upon their own characters, upon their own lives. Rather, they kept practicing polygamy or having relationship with other types of women. So this developed into a fourth type of marriage, which is called as monogamous marriage. After the establishment of the pairing marriage, the men imposed restriction of monogamy upon their wives while practically engaged themselves in polygamy. The dictionary term polygamy refers to possession of multiple wives. For instance, online Cambridge Dictionary delineates it the fact or custom of being married to more than one person at the same time. So here the problem occurred that men kept practicing, even having illicit or illegit relationship other than marriages as well. Outside the marriage, they kept practicing or they kept having the relations where they could go and uh, have the pleasure of engaging themselves into extra marital affairs with other women, and at the same time they kept demanding the extreme loyalty and extreme faithfulness from their own wives, from their related women, so that they could protect their coming generations and they could protect their honor and integrity. So the honor and integrity came into being, into concept, into variable as monogamy was imposed as an honor upon women, and men liberated themselves from this type of honor and kept engaging in polygamous relationship with the women of their liking. Polygamy and economics. The writer Friedrich Engels utilizes the concept of polygamy for engagement in illegal relations with multiple women. Despite presence of one wife, one man lives with one woman, yet in such manner that polygamy and occasional infidelity remain men's privileges, even though the former is seldom practiced for economic reason, and at the same time, the strictest fidelity is demanded of women during the period of cohabitation, adultery on her part being cruelly punished. So, if a woman is adulterous, it will be severe punishment, and in some cases, it could lead to honor killing as well. But if a man engages in some such relationship, there is no problem, because here Friedrich Engels establishes the concept of private property and ownership and the sources of production. When an individual became the owner of the private property, the sources of income generating activities, and the system or sources of production, he became powerful, he became the system, or he became the individual more influential above the system. Therefore, he devised rules and regulations of polygamy and practicing illicit relationship or having intercourses with the women other than having one primary wife or other than having one primary spousal, and he kept practicing these types of relationship with other women of their liking. So after looking into all these concepts, we can conclude that the marriages, namely consanguine, Punaluan, and pairing, they are the features of old ages. For example, consanguine family system is the feature of barbarism or barbarian age, where there was no restriction, where there was no code of conduct, where there was no morality, where there was no ethics, and people could enjoy relationship or physical intimacies with the people of their liking, and they could marry or remarry as many times as they liked. The other age where Punaluan family system developed is related to the age of savagery, where certain restrictions of intermarriage between generation was banned, whereas the pairing marriage is the feature of civilization. When human being became civilized, when modern economy was developed, when we as individuals started living in a family system, in a family unit where one man became the owner or the controller of the entire family system. So that individual, that person, that man became civilized, and he started establishing his empire and control upon the women. And he made women as one head of the family, whereas he kept practicing his illicit relationship with other women by engaging himself in polygamy. Similar is the concept of harem, and similar is the concept of concubines, and similar is the concept of all these londies, where one man kept having one wife while engaging himself in extramarital relationship with other women. There was in old tribal system a gens tribal system. In commune or communism, in old system, in that particular time, old times, women were protected and respected by the Gent tribal system that consisted of elderly people, including women, as members. The aim of Gens was to provide social protection and the form of shelter and food to the all deprived people of the society. There can be no poor and needy. The communistic household and the gens know the obligation towards the aged, the sick, and the disabled in war. All are free and equal, including the women. In old tribal system, at the time of Consanguine, Punaluan, at the time of savagery and barbarism, this gens tribal system established itself where women as the member of that particular community, as the member of that particular system, as qazis or as protectors or as the leaders, protected the rights of all those underprivileged individuals, including elderly people, including children, or including poor and needy people. So everyone was respected, everyone was fed, and everyone was protected and given shelter by that particular gent system. There is another concept of gent. Engels remarks that the tribal consisted of a number of the groups related to by blood on the mother's side, called as gents. So gent denotes to a feminine noun, origin of which is an Italian word. The dictionary entry means folk or the people, and the marital state connection between people of the same gents consisting of cousin was banned. So this gent system established itself working into the system when this second type of marriage established itself, when Punaluan family system came into being. So gent system coming from the mother's type, and that particular system did not allow the intermarriage of various generations. So here till this time, human beings were protected, respected, and taken care by the gens tribal system. Whereas when the society entered into the pairing marriage or into the time of civilization, there the problem occurred. And according to Friedrich Engels, in his book The Origin of Family, Private Property and the State, men started owning the businesses, men started owning the private lands, men started owning the sources of production, and that is how men started weakening the gens tribal system. So in this particular book, which we would talk about in another session as well, he takes examples of various old tribal systems, such as Iroquois tribe from Native Americans, and there he sees that how women still hold power as the protector or as the safeguarder of that particular entire community, where they protect the underprivileged individuals. So men started taking control in the time of civilization, in the time of revolution, in the time when the private property came into being, because in the older systems of commune system there was no private property, and the land was the ownership of the gens tribal system, and which equally distributed it into the members of the gens. And after that, men revolted against the gent tribal system and started establishing the pairing marriage, as well as started establishing the civilization. So we would talk about these concepts related to economy into another session. In this particular today's session, we talked about four type of the marriages. One was consanguine family system, and the second one was Punaluan family system. The third one was the pairing marriage, and the fourth one was monogamous family system. If you have any question related to these particular concepts, you can reach me out in the comment section below. Stay tuned, stay happy, and make other people related to you as happy, and make this earth as a heaven, so that we could all live peacefully and in a harmonious relationship. So Allah Hafiz and take care.